Good morning and welcome to Hot Seat. My guest this morning, Stephen Greetham, Esquire, Special Counsel to Chickasaw Nation. Good to see you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good to see you.
It's been a while since you've been on Hot Seat.
It has been.
But we're still talking about the same thing, sort of.
The more things change.
All right, can I quote my favorite Missouri haberdasher who later became President of the United States?
Absolutely.
Harry Truman once said, "The only thing we don't know is the history we haven't read yet." So let's start with the conflict between the governor and the tribal nations. But let's go all the way back to the beginning as to setting the stage as to why that there's a conflict.
And that's a broad question. When Oklahoma was formed as a state, there were already dozens of tribes on the ground here, each of whom had treaties with the United States, each of whom were promised permanent homelands in what was then Indian Territory, then joined by Oklahoma Territory. The process of statehood was a messy process, and many questions were left unanswered or answered only by assumptions. We've known about a lot of these unanswered questions for generations, and over time, different questions percolate up, and every time they do, the tribal governments and the Oklahoma state government have the chance, the opportunity, the challenge to figure out how to proceed, how to answer those questions. In Oklahoma, really since the 1970s, the first wave of dealing with some of those questions as the tribes were reorganizing themselves, getting out into economic development, so on and so forth, was litigation. And there was quite a bit of litigation between the state and the tribes, primarily over taxation issues and other matters of economic development and governance. And in 1991, actually on tobacco issues, the U.S. Supreme Court, to my eyes, got a little tired of the number of times Oklahoma kept bringing these cases back to the Supreme Court to referee, and it's ruled in the case, Citizen Potawatomi versus Oklahoma Tax Commission, gave its legal holding, and then basically said, guys, you can also sit down and figure this out. You can sit down and negotiate agreements and bind yourselves to intergovernmental respect and rules of conduct. Within a year of that ruling, we had our first tobacco compacts, and that really started the second wave of tribal-state relations here in Oklahoma. Today, there's over 900 intergovernmental agreements between the state of Oklahoma and various tribes. The core ones, the ones folks most hear about, gaming compact, tobacco compact, motor fuels, more recently hunting and fishing license tags, deal with complex issues of substantive disagreements between sovereigns, but the parties have been able to come together, make meaningful compromise that respect each other's positions, and figure out ways to work together for everyone's benefit.
Let me just go back just a little bit farther, near history, okay, recent history. Governors Fallon, Governors Henry, Governors Keating, there did not seem to be, even though disagreements, it didn't seem to reach this level of passion.
I think that's a true statement. I mean, I look back on the Fallon administration. During Governor Fallon's time in office, we had disagreements, obviously. We had the Chickasaw, Choctaw, Oklahoma City, State of Oklahoma water fight. But we were able to, within 5 or 6 years, come to terms, come to agreement, go to Congress together, and move forward, and that's what we've been doing now since 2016. I can understand folks having different ethical positions on gaming, totally understand that. But what's inarguable is the vast majority of dollars that tribes bring into Oklahoma's economy through gaming are coming in from other states. That grows the economy. And what's also inarguable is that tribes tend to invest those dollars locally and in the rural parts of the state that otherwise don't see the same kind of economic development opportunities. Every study concludes the same thing. And the gaming compact that tribes have with the state of Oklahoma is demonstrably the most lucrative gaming compact any state has with any tribes anywhere in the country under the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act. So this notion that somehow this is not something that benefits everyone is just wrong. And we need to move past that. And we need to figure out how do we keep pace with the national market on this stuff and continue to lead and benefit all the parties.
Stephen Greetham is Special Counsel to the Chickasaw Nation and Greetham Law PLLC. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, sir.
Thanks for being here.
Right on.
Thanks for watching Hot Seat. See this on news9.com/yourvotecounts and news6/yourvotecounts. And also follow me on Twitter, LinkedIn, Threads, and Facebook @Mitchell Talk.